5, 4, 3, 2, 1. CTS Pop Culture. We are basically right out of the theater from Eternals. We just went and saw the movie, drove back, and are recording right now. Jace,
CTS
what are your thoughts?
PC EP 32. Here are my thoughts. Okay. Whoa. Sorry, there was hair getting in my face.
Were the critics correct?
Okay, here's the deal. Oh, wait, we can't really spoil it, huh? We should probably be...
We won't spoil it.
Okay,
We'll just talk about... Do we agree with the critics?
Ooh, that's cheeky. The reviews on that movie prove why critics are just completely out of touch. The reason why I never look at the critic reviews, I always look at audience reviews. It's always the audience score. They're just out of touch.
It's a really weird one, right?
Well, so here's the premise. The movie got 52%
So
on
as
Rotten
it
Tomatoes.
stands right now, I just checked, 48% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics. So 48%, that means that more critics dislike it than like it.
And that is the worst Rotten Tomatoes score of any Marvel movie ever, correct?
Yeah, and by a decent shot, because you can be like Rotten isn't just under 50%. I think 55 or 60% is Rotten under that. And it's the first Rotten Marvel movie ever from critic scores. It's really weird. Especially when I think the audience rating last time I checked was sitting at 86%.
Huh. That's kind of ironic.
So that's nearly double. Nearly double.
Yeah, that's embarrassing for the critics. I feel like if push came to shove and we really didn't like a movie, we could just say we didn't like the movie. It would be difficult for me to give a movie below a 50%. I think it would really have to be... Are you good? Whoa.
Yeah. Choked on some water.
Yeah. As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by Henry's lack of drinking ability, it would take a really bad movie for me to give it a rating that low.
Well, because 50%, right, especially when it comes to movie ratings, that's it's actively a bad movie. It's not just, you don't give a 50% to a movie that's just average. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it. So to give a movie that I think we both agreed we thought was good, we really enjoyed it.
I really liked it. Yeah.
50%.
Well, and the review, it's not even that. The reviews were just nonsensical. Some of them were the movie was too long. I didn't understand it. It's I don't, there was just no valid criticisms. There was no, at least that you had told me, there was no criticisms of the acting ability of certain actors. There was no criticisms of the way the movie's going to fit into the rest of the universe. There's no criticisms of it being too, and these aren't my I'm not making criticisms.
This is what was being said in.
Yeah. None of them were valid. They didn't make any sense. They were just ridiculous. And the movie was good. I can't fathom how someone could walk out of the movie and be like, this movie deserves a rotten score on Rotten Tomatoes. It's what were you wanting? What did you have what were you envisioning? I don't understand.
Yeah. So we kind of talked about this coming out of the movie as a theory for why maybe the reviews were not good. The director of the movie is Chloe Zhao, who just won Best Director for Nomadland. And honestly, the way some of those reviews read makes me feel like some of those critics were bitter that somebody who was this prestigious director that they had just said was the best director in the world would go and direct a Marvel movie, a superhero movie that I'm sure a lot of them look down on, because it just doesn't make sense. I don't know how you come out of that movie and go, I could see you going, not my cup of tea. But for 300 critic reviews on Rotten Tomatoes to accumulate to a 48% score, because that means, right, because I saw some reviews that were positive, probably 60-70% scores. That means that for every 60-70% score, there were 40 and 30% scores on Rotten Tomatoes. That's approaching some of the worst movies on Rotten Tomatoes scores. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. It just shows no one at least I don't know anyone that like trusts the critic scores. No one likes a critic that is a critic for criticizes a movie for no reason. I didn't see any valid criticisms, and I don't know if I have any. I had one valid criticism that I had discussed with you.
That's kind of a spoiler, though.
Yeah,
So we'll hold off until the next episode. Yeah, it is. It does bring up, like, beg the question: what's the point of critics if they're not reflecting like what audiences think of?
Yeah.
Right, because
yeah.
that's the point of critics, right? Is to kind of give you a first, okay, like, this movie's good, this movie's bad, like, do I want to go see it? So if critics are, I mean, just miles off of what audiences think of movies, like, what's the point of critics? Are they that out of touch?
Yes, most of the time, I think.
Yeah, it seems like it's happening more often too. Like,
yeah,
a lot
and
more
I
recently.
think you're right. Like, I think maybe since she had just been given an Academy Award for a great film, like, I feel like most critics are very elitist, so it would make sense that, like, they're critical of a Marvel movie, which is dumb. It's why no one trusts the critic reviews, because Marvel movies are popular.
Yeah. Without spoiling it, maybe let's go into a few of our thoughts on the movies.
I thought it was good. My only, like I said, I had that one really specific criticism of a certain character that just a really unnecessary.
This is a weird one. Me and Jace disagree on this one.
Just
but
an unnecessary, out of place, unneeded character that
tune
I thought
in
should not
next
have been
episode
in a
for
movie.
the rumble of the century
Yeah.
on whether this character was necessary or not.
Yeah, just in my opinion, it really dampened my experience with the movie. And I know that sounds like an exaggeration.
It's massive exaggeration.
But it's really not. Like, it really was getting on my nerves, and it was frustrating me. And it probably brought my, like, overall rating from an 8.7-ish, 87% score if I were to give it on Rotten Tomatoes, to like an 82. Like, it really annoyed me. And the character just stayed. I mean, he wouldn't go away. It's fine. I'm not going to get too much more into it. But it brought my score down. And then my other criticism was it did feel a little bit long towards the end.
It was
and
a long
I said the
movie,
same
though.
thing about Dune. I probably just don't have I'm sure some people have a much better attention span than I do, but it was long for me.
It was a long movie. And there are a couple times that you almost, like, think it's over.
Yeah.
Like, this kid, I could see this progressing to the end, like, in this way. And then it's like, it stops. And I'm hesitant to criticize a movie for, like, just for being long. I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but I'm pretty content to have a movie be as long as it wants to be. But, yeah, I really liked it. I thought, there was, like, an all-star cast. Like, the cast was great, and they were all really good in the movie, I thought. Like, everyone, it's pretty rare for a movie to have, like, every actor live up to, like, okay, like you had Angelina Jolie in the movie. Like she gave everyone gave a great performance, and I liked that. I thought the story was cool. It was different than I think anything Marvel's done.
Yeah. And one of my criticisms as of late of Marvel movies, something that I look out for is if they, like, are too Marvel. And I thought this movie wasn't. I thought it did, like, it had a nice spin that I thought some Marvel stuff doesn't
You could
have.
definitely tell also, that Chloe Zhao was the director. She was a great, very good prestige-wise. Jace just took off. So
I'll be back.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. Jace's criticisms of the movie were, I'm not gonna say crazy, but pretty crazy. I think if I did have one criticism, I think they could have spent a little bit longer on some of the characters, and that might actually speak to the strength of the characters and the acting, is that there were a few characters that didn't get as much screen time, as much development as I would have liked, just because there's a lot of characters, and I don't think it would have been instead of the 2 hour and 45-minute movie it would have been more like a 4 hour movie if you had really gone in and developed all those characters. But I don't think it was a problem. I just really enjoyed what I did get of those characters, and so in the future, if there was an opportunity to get more of those characters, I would be a big fan. I would also say it does a good job of introducing some of the more like esoteric Marvel concepts. There's a lot of things involved that haven't been touched on super heavily in the MCU before. And so I think comic fans will enjoy the movie because it gets into details on stuff that has kind of been brushed around before. It gets a lot more seriously. That becomes a much bigger part of the movie. I think if I had to rank it, like as far as Marvel movies this year, we've gotten Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and this, I would put it probably just behind Shang-Chi. I really liked Shang-Chi, but and that's not saying it's bad. I think on this podcast I said my Shang-Chi ranking was like possibly top 3 Marvel movies ever. So to be just behind Shang-Chi is nothing to sniff at. Definitely better than Black Widow. Yeah, Jace is still gone, as you can see, since we're on the wide angle camera. Oh, we just got back. We have him back after a half hour.
I mean, literally 3 minutes.
It was a long time.
3 minutes. Okay, what were you rambling about before I was so rudely interrupted?
That's very interesting because I think you left. But I was talking about kind of just where I liked, like, how much I liked the movie compared to, like, Shang-Chi, Black Widow, and kind of some of the criticism I had of it.
Lower than Shang-Chi, higher than Black Widow.
That's what I said. I said, but I also said, like, it's not necessarily a bad thing that it's lower than Shang-Chi because I think we both had Shang-Chi, like, top 5 Marvel movies.
Yeah, I think I had it in my top 3.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I know, but I thought the movie was really good. Critics are out of touch. They're idiots. I don't know what. I can't stand the rating that movie got. Just a bunch of elitist, more words that I shall not say. But, yeah, I thought the movie was good. I think Shang-Chi I think Shang-Chi will probably end up being my favorite Marvel movie this year. I mean, the only one that could come close is Far From Home.
No Way Home.
Or No Way
right?
Home.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the last Marvel movie this year, too.
Which comes out next month?
December, yeah. I think it's like Christmas.
December, the next month. The next year we have... Oh, and Book of Boba Fett trailer came out.
Oh, yeah. We can get into that if we're
That
done
was
with
cool.
Marvel stuff.
Dude, did you see... I saw this video on the little, like, spider things. Did you see that?
The Bomar monks.
Yeah.
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 Those are cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I think the trailer, I don't know if... Like, I didn't think a trailer could make me, like, more excited for it. I thought I was, like, kind of peaked at, like, where my excitement would be. But the way they did it was cool. It was almost like a, like, Godfather type, like, kind of mafia movie more than it was, like, a traditional Star Wars kind of space adventure movie.
Is Jon Favreau producing this one, too?
Yeah, him and Filoni are producing. I think they both are directing an episode. I think it's basically the Mandalorian team.
So, do you think in like series past, like think of like the Brady Bunch, they would just have one director every episode, wouldn't they?
No, I don't think so.
So it's normal for series to have like very different directors every episode?
I think it's gotten, I think showrunner is the thing you're thinking of. I think a lot of times you have one showrunner that like kind of guides the series and is like basically a director, but then you can get different directors for specific episodes. So like Filoni and Favreau are showrunners.
Do you think, do the directors contribute to the writing?
I think it depends.
Would you rather be a writer or a director? We're talking a writer that like is the writer.
That'd be tough. I really would like to direct. Like, I think directing would be really cool, but writing would be super cool too.
I think I'd rather be a writer.
Directing,
that'd be
just
so
everything I've seen looks really sweet, and yeah. But for sure, I think in this case, like Filoni and Favreau are like primary writers on it. And then why am I spacing his name? Who's the director that's doing it? He directed the Boba Fett episode in Mandalorian season 2. Oh gosh, this is gonna make me mad. I just had it in my head. He directed Spy Kids.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. But I think he's doing most of the episodes, or I think it's just
Robert Rodriguez.
Robert
right?
Rodriguez. Yeah. Because I think it's just 6 episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he's doing 3, and then Favreau's directing 1, Filoni's directing 1, and then Bryce Dallas Howard is
Who's that?
directing 1. She's like, you ever seen like Jurassic World?
Mm-hmm.
She's like the main lady in that,
Actor.
like
or
the
director?
redhead, like the actress. She's acting, but she's also, I mean, her dad's Ron Howard,
Oh,
who's
really?
like a prolific director, obviously, of his own, and so is like she's kind of got some directing in, and she directed Mandalorian episodes and stuff. I think she in the first season, I know she directed that. The village one, where they have to defend with the cool like tricked out chicken walker. Yeah, she directed that one. So, yeah, I'm excited for that. That starts coming out. Hawkeye starts coming out at the end of November.
Yeah, it's like a Christmas.
That's
kinda
crazy.
thing.
It looked cool.
Yeah, some people are really disappointed by the trailer. I'm pretty neutral. I've always been pretty neutral towards Hawkeye.
I thought it looked fun.
Yeah, I think that's like more where it's going to be. Is
And
like
I like that for like Disney Plus series. Like, let's leave the like super narratively consistent and like tonally consistent stuff for the movies. Like, I'm more than happy to have every Disney Plus series be something like totally out of left field. Like,
Well, I think that's kind of the direction they're going. Well, at least with Marvel, I am. With Star Wars, I'm a little bit different, but I think with Marvel for sure. I think with Star Wars, I've gotten used to really narrative-driven stories that connect into the larger world in some way.
yeah, and I definitely think I'm the same way with Star Wars, but with Marvel, yeah, whatever you want to do. If you want to give me like
Some random character.
like if that
from-
She-Hulk
Yeah.
She-Hulk show is just like a straight up like courtroom drama, totally happy with it. Like I'd be
Can you imagine?
like that's sick. That's so cool. And like you just have like some superheroes pop in, but they're like having legal trouble and she's like defending them or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd be stoked. So
Should be pretty cool.
that'll be fun. Yeah, we
Dude,
should.
do you think that final take? This is the last time I'm going to ask you this. Because I saw something the other day that like someone was really convinced that it may not happen.
Mhm.
Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Do you think they're in it or no?
The amount of like I don't want to talk like leaks and stuff that I've seen,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it has to happen.
Oh, have you seen it leaked? Just be honest. I won't be disappointed.
No, I haven't. Like, there's just been some stuff that seems like very convincing. Plus, like, did you see that thing that Tobey Maguire, like, people said he was like telling people that he was in it?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, just told some like random person and like he was in Central Park and
Yeah, and
somebody
the guy
came
walked up to him and he like smiled or something. Or,
No,
like,
yeah, like
winked
he
at
like
him.
straight up said it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But and then there was some other stuff with like a photo of a suit, and it was like Toby's suit with like specific like rips in the suit.
You know what I'm surprised that like Sony doesn't do is just do their own Spider-Man stuff. Like do an alternate universe. But the thing is, this is why I was really surprised. We can talk about the Venom end credit scene. I don't know if we have.
Yeah.
This is why I was really surprised that they decided to bring Venom into the canon Marvel universe, because what I was expecting is for them to like leave Venom and like some of these other characters in this other universe and have
Yeah.
like Andrew Garfield be Spider-Man and just in this other universe and make your own Spider-Man like movies
just
and
think-
do all that. That seems so much more like such a better moneymaker.
I think it's just tricky because how are you going to compete with like the Marvel Spider-Man?
Would you go and see an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie or a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie that's non-canon?
I probably would, but I don't think I'm the general audience.
I don't know, dude. People love Spider-Man, man. And Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire both have really dedicated fans.
Yeah, I just think it'd get a little confusing. I also think it's written into the I've seen that it's written into the like contract for like Marvel to use like Spider-Man
Exclusively
that
for
Sony that
that
Sony
makes
can't
sense.
produce their own like with a
Yeah.
different Spider-Man.
except for
um,
like when they did what they did with the Spider-Verse, right? So maybe it's just animated.
Yeah, I think it's specific
You
to
love
live
that
action.
movie. That's like one
I
of your
really
favorites.
love that movie.
That movie gave me like a headache. Like I like that's like I'm very I never say that about movies, stuff like that, because I'm usually good with stuff about that. But that movie, like legitimately, I was like, oh boy,
I
like,
love
made
that
me
movie
kind of dizzy.
so much. Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies. Like I would probably say it's my favorite superhero movie.
I definitely would not do that. I would definitely say it's in the bottom half of mine.
Bottom half?
Yeah, I didn't really. It's not like I had any like really harsh criticisms for it, but I just didn't find
Bottom
it
half.
particularly.
Yeah, that's
intriguing.
crazy. I would like without a ton of thought, I would say it's probably my favorite superhero movie.
Better than like Dark Knight Rises. Better than like. That's weird.
Yeah,
That's
I
crazy.
seriously think, and definitely like even if I gave it more thought and it wasn't, and put like one of those up there, it's like right up there. Like it's kind of flip a coin which one depending on which day I think is better. I love that movie, but yeah, so
Just high praise.
Yeah, I love
high
it.
praise from Henry.
I'm so excited for the second one. It's gonna be sweet, I think. But so I think they're gonna be in it.
If they aren't, it is going to be the biggest.
People are going to
disappointment.
lose their minds.
I would be disappointed if they weren't. It'd be a bummer.
Which is weird because nothing they've done officially has pointed to them being in it.
Yeah. I mean, except for the villains, right? I mean, the
But
villains.
even that,
point
you could
towards
just
them
say
being
it's
in it.
just the villains, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Like
yeah.
you don't. It doesn't have to be, because they're not. Like they're not pulling a Spider-Man from every universe, because like the Venom universe doesn't have a specific Spider-Man attached to it, so they're not pulling like another. So I don't know. That'd be, people would freak, like, cause you've seen them like dislike bombing all of Sony's YouTube videos that they post.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
they're like, cause it's not the Spider-Man trailer. It's not the second Spider-Man trailer, which
That's
is
so
dumb.
cringe.
But yeah,
How much time do you have on your hands to like go and like dislike bomb a video because it's not the Spider-Man?
to be fair,
trailer?
are you like, did you watch the trailer?
The Spider-Man trailer?
Or like did like cause the big one was the Morbius trailer. They like not, I'm like not devil's advocate, but like it's not like it takes much time if you're watching the trailer anyways to just dislike it.
Oh yeah.
To be
I mean,
like, how much time do you have on your hands? But like, yeah, I get what you're
okay,
saying.
Yeah,
It's
nerd
just like
sympathizer over here.
it's
Nice
just
one,
like
dude.
yeah, it's, I don't want him to show him in the trailer. I don't want him to reveal it in the trailer.
The thing is, what sucks is it's gonna get leaked, bro.
Oh,
it's gonna
100%.
get leaked, and everyone's gonna know. I don't know, maybe.
Well,
not.
I think it's already been leaked personally.
I
But
haven't seen it.
But well, like there was that one video that came out of Andrew Garfield in the Spider-Man suit, like filming new stuff.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
The only thing I saw leaked was the actual trailer, and it was when they were recording of a recording.
It was like 5 layers deep. It was like
On a
Inception. That
recording.
last scene of Inception when the
It
dude's like
was-
falling
it
down
was
the.
literally, I couldn't even make out what was going on. That person got fired, by the way.
Yeah. It's dumb because it's like your name's like watermarked on it. So you're like kind of screwed. But Yeah, the Tobey Maguire one was like it came out like it was video of him like recording stuff, like recording a scene.
Spoiler alert.
And then someone came out and said, "Hey, I deep faked it," and showed like how they deep faked it. And then everyone was like, "Dude, this isn't a deep fake. Like you didn't deep fake it. Like you faked that you were
Really?
doing a deep fake. So like we don't know if it's real or not, but you definitely didn't deep fake it."
That's gonna be crazy when deep fake technology gets that good though. When people can't tell.
I've heard like pretty like highly skilled visual effects artists say they don't think deepfake will ever get to the point, or at least not for a really long time, that it's like impossible to tell.
You don't think? Because I've seen some ones that, like, if I didn't know it was deepfake, I probably could have been convinced if they weren't saying something outlandish. Like, most of the time, the deepfakes I've seen are, like, saying outlandish things that I'm like, oh, this person would never say that.
Yeah,
But if it was, like, a deepfake of Trump and he was saying something, like, very
I guess
Trumpy.
eventually you just get to the point, if you just get to the point where you kind of do like a cursory first check, like, oh, is this a deep fake? Like look for like there's pretty, if you know what deep fakes look like, it's pretty easy to
But the
tell.
thing is, how many people are going to know what a deepfake looks
But
like?
I think
of, like,
eventually-
old people.
I think eventually you get to the point where people like figure it out.
Old people? Old people, like, can't
but
send
I
an
think-
email from their phone.
I think by
Some
the
of 'em.
time,
That
I
was
think,
rude.
I
Sorry,
think,
I take that back. Some old people, can't, like, really old.
I think by the time we get to the point where deep fakes are like super widespread and not easy to tell, like that they're fake, like pretty much everyone will be familiar with like how deep fakes work. But-
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That technology's getting really crazy, really fast.
Yeah, it will be nuts if it ever gets to that point. How about maybe last thing, Disney Plus Day next week, 2-year anniversary of Disney Plus launching, and they're apparently like announcing a bunch of stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
The Luke Skywalker show, dude. Serious.
That would be sweet. I would lose my mind. Also, I heard one thing that I heard was an Obi-Wan trailer.
Ooh, dude.
Yeah, dude.
No shots?
Yeah, so it's
Wow.
well, hopefully by the time, because we're not gonna have an episode next week, but the week after that we'll have had Disney Plus Day, and hopefully gotten some pretty cool stuff to talk about.
That's going to be sick.
Okay, let's call it.
All right, CTSPC EP.